ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकं चापि नमामि विद्यै। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। ओम प्रणाम everyone. So we are in the chapter 1, sloka number 42. So just to give a good kind of a quick recap. So in this chapter what has happened? Initially the armies assembled for the war, and then Duryodhana started lamenting about the inadequacies of his side. Then Bhishma started blowing the conch. Everybody from Kauravas indicated their readiness for the war. Then on the side of Pandavas too, everybody started blowing their conch, starting from Bhagavan Krishna and Arjuna. Then Arjuna asks Krishna to take the chariot and place it in front of the army so that he can see who are the peoples who have assembled there to fight against him. And when Bhagavan did so, Arjuna's mind started changing. And that we saw from Sloka 26 to 28. Arjuna's mind was filled with raga, attachment. And that is indicated in the Sloka 28, first line, Kripaya Paraya Vishtah Vishidan Idam Abravit. Then from Raga, the emotion changed to Shoka. Shoka being sorrow, and that was seen in these Slokas between 29 and 31, where Arjuna started explaining how he felt on seeing the people on the other side. Sidanti mamagatrani mukam cha parishusyati. His limbs drooped, his mouth dried up, and he was shivering. The Gandiva slipped, and all those things were indication of the shoka, the sorrow that he was going through. And then from Sloka 31 onwards, until he gets until the end of this chapter, and until probably Bhagavan starts the Gita Upadesha, Arjuna is in a state of moha, delusion, where he sees all the rights as wrong and all the wrongs as right. And starting from Sloka 31, he starts justifying as to why the war should not be fought. And from Sloka number 31 until Sloka 35, he talks from his personal standpoint, and he says, if these are my people, I would not want to kill them for even the sake of 3 worlds. Why would I want to kill them for the sake of a small piece of land called Hastinapura? And these are my relatives. Acharya, Pitara, Putra, Pitamaha, Matulaha, Shvashuraha, Pautraha, Shyalaha, Sambandhi. All these people, why should I kill them? Because all these are all Swajanam. He basically said these are all my people. Until 35, he took that stand, from 31 to 35. Then from Sloka 36 until Sloka 38, he took the stand of from Papa and Punya angle, from Dharma standpoint. Initially he said, I don't see any shreyas in this war. Then he says, I don't desire this kingdom or victory or pleasure. All those things he said from 31 to 35. Then 36 onwards, he talked about, what happiness can come to us by killing these criminals. Atatayinaha, he said. And he said, Papameva ashrayet asman. Only sin alone will accrue to us. And he included Bhagavan also in that we will be incurring sin by killing these people. 37 also he said, it's our people, Swabhandhavan. And how can we be happy? Katam syama sukhinaha. How can we be happy by killing these people? Our people. Hatva swajanam, he said. From Sloka 38, he takes the next route, which is from the standpoint of the outcome of war. This is not a war to be fought. So from 38 onwards, he is now speaking, saying that the consequences of war are disastrous. And therefore, we should not fight this war. So in Sloka 38, he basically said, Kulakshaya Kritam. He says basically, the war will cause the destruction of families. And we will also get the sin in harming for the friends. Mitra drohe patakam. He said in Sloka 38. And then in 39, he said, even just on seeing this destruction, Kulakshaya Kritam, on seeing that Kulakshaya Krita dosham, we should withdraw from this. Why can't we decide to withdraw from the war? And the war he said as Asmat Papam. It is a sinful action. If we go to the war, it is a sinful action. So he said, Nivartitum. Why can't we withdraw from the war? And why he said this Kulakshaya Kritam is a Papam, he explains step by step. So in Sloka 40, he says, Kulakshaye will lead to Kuladharmaha pranashyanti. Pranashyanti Kuladharmaha. The family traditions will perish because of when families are destroyed. And all these family traditions are long lasting, sanatanaha. And what happens after that? Because the family traditions vanish, perish, adharma will take over. So dharme nashte adharmaha abhibhavati. So when the dharma falls, adharma, whenever there is a void, whenever we are not doing any dharma, if we want to be neutral, sooner or later adharma will take over that place. So that's why Shastra says keep doing punya, because if we want to do any kind of neutral action, it will be slowly will be overshadowed by, or the adharma will take over the void. So that was Sloka 40, where he said adharma will take over. And then in Sloka 41 he said, because of the prevalence of unrighteousness, adharma bi bhavat. Because of adharma, the women of the family become corrupt. Kulastriyaha pradushyanti. So this is the next step he says that will happen. And then he says, when the women become corrupt, srishu dushtasu, what will happen? Varna sankaraha jayate. The intermixture of varnas will happen. And what will be the problem of the intermixture of varnas? In 42 he says, and because of this intermixture of these varnas, lupta pindo daka kriya, the ancestors will be deprived of the offerings of food and water. Basically, people will not do Shraddham and Tarpanam. And because of that, what will happen? Both the people who are dead as well as the people who are responsible for the death will definitely go to Naraka. Eva Narakaya. Sankaro Narakayaiva. We will go to hell. So this is what Arjuna had said so far. So we have done until Sloka 42. Now from now on we'll go to Sloka 43. Arjuna uvacha doshai retai kulagnanam varnasankara karakaihi utsadhyante jati dharmaha kuladharmascha shashvataha doshai retai kulagnanam varnasankara karakaihi utsadhyante jati dharmaha kuladharmascha shashvataha. So here Arjuna argues that not only the family traditions get destroyed, even the varna, the caste related to all these traditions will also get destroyed during the war. As I said, in those days the society had distinct varnas and each one had their own rituals, duties and responsibilities. And what he says is, if there is a confusion, whenever there is a varna sankaraha, then what happens? When there is an intermixture of varnas, then those jati traditions, the traditions for the families, that will also be destroyed. It's not that the varna traditions can be totally eradicated, because any kind of society will always have its different gradations. No society will be able to build an equal society, is impossible. Even in office, there will be, even in the corporate world, they will talk about corporate social responsibility and all those things, but there are gradations. There will be a manager, there will be an employee, there will be the CXOs, there will be always gradation. Depending on the roles and responsibilities, it will be there. So here, what does he say? Doshai retehi kulagnanam. Etaihi doshaihi. Etaihi doshaihi. Etaihi means due to. Doshaihi, these misdeeds. Due to these misdeeds. Kulagnanam. Kulagnanam. Due to these misdeeds. Misdeeds of who? Who did the misdeed? Here he is putting the blame on the people who will be responsible for killing in this war. So kulagnanam, due to the misdeeds of the destroyers of families. So basically he is saying to Bhagavan, we, all, you and me, because we will destroy all these families. Kulagnanam, due to the misdeeds of these destroyers of family. Varna sankara karakaihi, which in turn cause the intermixture of the caste. Which caused the intermixture of caste. So that is the first line. So doshai retehi kulagnanam varna sankara karakaihi, due to the misdeeds of the destroyer of families, which caused the intermixture of varnas, caste. So in those days, before marriage, they used to see the kulas. Kulas means what family do they come from? Who they would want to know about, even as late as in the 1940s and 30s. Probably people used to ask, who are your grandparents, who are your forefathers, who are a little bit up to 3 generations. They will try to see. They see the kula to see what kind of family they come from when they are looking for groom or bride. Now, of course, they only see the money of the present person, not even their parents. If the groom or the bride has the money, that's enough. And in those days, marriages or wedding will be stopped if they come to know that the groom takes bribe. If they come to know that the groom is actually doesn't have integrity, even in professional life, they will stop the wedding. But of course, in today's terms, in India especially, the bride's family would like to know whether the groom is able to manage just with one income, or whether he is able to get additional any income from, especially if he is working in government offices, so that they are able to, they get the assurance that this person will be able to keep their daughter in comfort. So in those days, people looked at values, character, and the kula, the family from where they came. These days, those things have lessened. And why do they do that? Because in a family, a particular gene will be prevalent. Suppose if the person with two different characters come together, what will happen? A person with, say for example, Kshatriya guna, another person with a Brahmana guna. I am not even talking about the birth jati here. We are talking about a guna. So a person who is Kshatriya guna and the other person is a Brahmana guna, if they come together, what happens? Both their dharmas will get destroyed. And that's what Arjuna says there. He says, Utsadhyante, they are destroyed. What are destroyed? Jati dharmaha. Utsadhyante jati dharmaha. That the caste traditions, the family traditions, the kula traditions, they get destroyed. Not just jati dharmaha, kula dharmascha, kula dharmaha, as well as the family traditions, both they get destroyed. And how long have they been following these traditions? Shashvataha. They have been there long standing. So the long standing caste traditions as well as the family traditions are destroyed. As I said earlier also, the jati dharmas are traditions and duties of the different varnas. Depending on the varna, in fact depending on the ashrama, the duties are there, responsibilities are there. We have discussed this earlier in Introduction to Vedanta series. We will again talk about this varna and ashrama when we deal with in chapter 4. We will see them again there anyway. So here Arjuna says, due to the misdeeds of the destroyer of families, basically he is blaming himself. And he says, which caused the intermixture of castes, long-standing traditions of both the caste as well as the family, they are destroyed. That is what he says in Sloka 43. Remember, Bhagavan does not open his mouth. Bhagavan does not react at all. He just lets Arjuna continuously speak. He wants Arjuna to exhaust himself. Sloka 44. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vasaha bhavatityanu Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vasaha bhavatityanu So basically Arjuna continues the same line of argument. He says if Kula Dharma and Jati Dharma are destroyed, he says, have we not heard from Shastras? He is asking Arjuna, he is asking Bhagavan, Janardana, Krishna, have we not heard from the Shastras that the person will go to hell? So if somebody is cause for destroying a family tradition or a caste tradition, that person will go to hell. Have we not heard of it? So it's a kind of exclamation. Utsanna. Utsanna Kula Dharmanam. Utsanna Kula Dharmanam means whose family traditions are destroyed. Whose family traditions are destroyed for who? Manushyanam, for the people. And he says Janardana. Janardana is basically Krishna. So whose family traditions are destroyed for the people? He says in the second line, Narake Niyatam Vasaha. Narake means in hell. Vasaha. Vasaha is stay. Stay in hell. Stay in hell. Niyatam. Niyatam means inevitable. The stay in hell is inevitable for those people. Manushyanam, for those people, for whose family traditions are destroyed. So if we do not follow the family traditions, which has been given from one generation to another generation to us, if we don't follow it, Arjuna says, hell is inevitable. Stay in hell. Remember, our culture, there is no permanent hell, permanent heaven. We, for whatever karma, we will have to exhaust that karma in hell and we will have to come back. Same thing with heaven also. If we do lot of punya, if that prarabdha for that time is such that we will get punya, we go to heaven, we stay there until our prarabdha gets exhausted, and then we take another prarabdha to get another body and another life. So here he says, inevitable, the stay in hell, bhavati, will happen. The stay in hell becomes inevitable for the people whose family traditions are destroyed. And he says, it is not, I am telling this, Bhagavan Krishna, I am not telling this. Iti Anushustruma. That Anushustruma means, iti means that, Anushustruma means we have heard. We have heard from where? From the scriptures, from the Shastras. So this is what he says. He is basically reminding Bhagavan that because of this, lot of people will go to hell. Because what happens? Once we let go of Dharma, Adharma comes in. If we don't do Punya, there is no neutral job. Automatically our whatever activities we do will tend to go towards Adharma. And when we do Adharma, we go to hell. And because when Swadharma is not done, especially when we talked last week, Shraddham, Tarpanam, if they are not done according to the Vedic rules, according to what has been prescribed, then there is a special kind of papam called Pratyavaya papam. It's called as Pratyavaya papam. These are called as omissions. If we do some duties have been assigned to us, if we do not do those duties, it is called, we incur a papam that is called as Pratyavaya papam, according to Shastras. And any papam will lead to Naraka. So that is what Arjuna says here. And Arjuna is going to conclude his argument in Sloka 45. Aho batamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum swajana mudyataha. Aho batamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum swajana mudyataha. Aho bata mahat papam. Remember, it's all Arjuna's monologue. He is not even expecting, right now, he has not waited for Bhagavan to respond, neither is Bhagavan responding also. And what he said, initially he said, I don't want to fight this war, I don't want to kill my people. So he basically thought that Bhagavan might come back and say, you will have to fight for the sake of Dharma. So he basically said, if we actually fight this war and kill these people, it's all also papam. And they are all atatayinaha, they are all criminals of the worst kind. Then he saw there was an issue there, was a contradiction there. So he changed the line of argument and said that, the consequences of war are not good for anyone. Neither for the people who are dead, nor for the killers of whoever the victor. Neither for the vanquished, nor for the victors. And he is continuing that argument, and he is closing it down here where he says, it is not just a problem now, Bhagavan, Krishna, it is also a problem for the future. This has got repercussions in the future also. It's not just a problem that we are creating for this present generation, present world. This has got a repercussion for the future also. And that's what he says in this sloka. He says, Ahobata, alas. The equivalent is alas. Oh my God, alas. Mahat papam. Papam, sin. Mahat papam, a great sin. Great sin. Who is doing? Vyavasita vayam. Vayam, we have undertaken. Vyavasitaha means we have undertaken. To commit. Kartum. Kartum vyavasita vayam. Alas, we have undertaken to commit this great sin. We are about to cause, or we are about to do a great sinful act. And what is this Mahat Papam? What is this great sinful act? Hantum Swajanam. Hantum Swajanam. Hantum means to kill. Swajanam means our own people. Killing all these people. Why this is Mahat Papam? Varna Shankara will happen, Jati Shankara will come, Dharmanasha will happen, Pitrunam Patanam will happen. All this will lead to a chain reaction. And he is giving a reason. He is giving a reason for himself and to Bhagavan as to why we are committing to do this job. Why we have come to fight this war. Why has Arjuna come to fight this war? He is giving a reason now. He says, Yadrajya Sukha Lobena. Yadrajya Sukha Lobena. Due to Loba means greed. Greed. So what is the greed that he is talking about? Rajya Sukham. For the pleasure of kingdom. For the greed, due to the greed for the pleasure of kingdom, we have come to fight this war. Remember, Arjuna only in a few slokas back, he said that the lobam was with them. He said these people have assembled because of their greed. Now he is taking that upon himself. So Arjuna's delusion is very evident now. Lobha means greed. And he says because of our false, misplaced greed for the pleasures. And what does he say? Antum swajanam udyataha. Udyataha means we are prepared. We are prepared to do what? Antum swajanam. We are prepared to kill our own people. That is what Arjuna concludes. This is a great sin. We are greedy. We are come to kill these people, and because of which we will have a lot of repercussions, not just for this, but also for in the future generations. And therefore it is Mahat Papam. And saying that, he says one more sloka where he concludes. यदि माम अप्रतीकारम अशस्त्रम शस्त्रपाणयः दार्धराष्ट्रारणे हन्युः तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्। यद्माम अप्रतीकारम अशस्त्रम शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युः तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्. So basically he is saying, Arjuna's delusion is now complete. He doesn't see this war as dharma and adharma. He is now seeing swajanam, the relations standing in front of him, and he himself is here only to fight because of the greed that he has for the kingdom. That is how he has now changed his mind. And now he thinks one step further. What if Bhagavan comes and says, look Arjuna, what you say may all be okay. Even if you say all those things, you are now in the battlefield. Now you are here. You may not want to fight. You may drop the weapons. It is still there. But those people are ready to kill you. They will kill you. So how will you defend yourself? So this is if Arjuna thinks if Bhagavan is going to say this, then he is basically preempting that question. So Arjuna is saying here, even if they kill me, it's okay with me. And not only, he doesn't stop there. He says that I consider that to be the correct outcome. So this is basically the height of delusion. This is how normally brainwashing happens. And what happens? This is a self-done brainwash. Some people, teach and then get themselves brainwashed. Some people go to attend some organization, say join some organization and get themselves brainwashed. But here, what Arjuna is going through is self-created brainwash. Basically because of attachment, shokam, sorrow, delusion. Raga, shoka, moha. He says, yadi mam apratikaram. Yadi means even if. Mam, me. I am, even if I am. Yadi, even if I am. And Arjuna is describing himself and says, apratikaram. Apratikaram. Pratikaram means revengeful. Apratikaram means not revengeful. Which means I am not resisting. Even if I am not resisting. Ashastram. I am unarmed. Is unarmed. So which means without any weapons in hand. Basically Arjuna is saying that he has no intention to fight. And in the next line he describes the Kauravas. Dhartarashtra. Dhartarashtra rane hanyu. Tanme kshemataram bhavet. Shastrapanayah Dhartarashtraha. You'll have to read that together. So the Dhartarashtras are Shastrapanayah. Shastrapanayah means armed Kauravas. So the Kauravas are armed. And where are they armed? Rane Hanyuhu. In this battle. Rane means battlefield. In this battlefield. Hanyuhu. They would kill me. Hanyuhu. Tanme kshemataram bhavet. Tad bhavet. That would be. Tad bhavet. Kshemataram. Kshemataram me. For better for me. Kshemam. We say. Kshemama iru. We say. It will be better for me. So even if armed Kauravas would kill me, who is unarmed and unresisting, apratikaram, where in the battle, tad bhavet kshemataram me, that would be better for me. There's the Stockholm syndrome, they say. It's like that. So Arjuna says, I have decided. So basically it is also an indication to Bhagavan. Arjuna says that I am not going to fight this war. I have decided not to contribute to this tragedy, which means I am not going to fight this war. Remember, when the war was about to begin, when this beginning of the war was signaled by the blowing of the conches, at that time Arjuna did not say all these things. Arjuna in fact blew his conch also, and he said he was ready to fight the war. At that time he did not do all these things. All these things happened only when he went and saw Bhishma and Drona right in front of him. So the attachment that we have on things, people, are all dormant in us. We may think we do not have any attachment in this world. That is not true. Only when that particular object, or when that particular relation, or when that particular situation is not going to be available for us, or even when we think that that situation or that relation or that person or that object will get away from us or might get away from us, our attachment will come to the fore. And Arjuna right now says, I do not mind even being killed for that. It doesn't matter. His attachment is so strong. So after having said these words, Arjuna has exhausted everything. And he has given a big lecture. And right now, all his issues, all the problems that he had has come out fully. Initially his raga, that attachment had come. Then his shoka had come. Then the delusion, moha has come. And Arjuna is finished. Arjuna is exhausted. Bhagavan is silent. And why? Bhagavan knows that Arjuna is not in a position to listen. When a person is highly deluded, or when a person is highly emotional, at that point of time, any amount of rational words will not make sense to that person. So Bhagavan stays silent. Now Sanjaya is basically going to describe or give the picture of Arjuna to Dhritarashtra, and with that this chapter will come to an end. So the last sloka number 47. Sanjayo vacha eva mukvarjuna sankye ratopastau pavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shoko samvigna manasah. Sanjayo vacha eva mukvarjuna sankye ratopastau pavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasah. Sanjayo vacha. Sanjaya says. Basically, Sanjaya said. Sanjaya explains the state of Arjuna in this sloka. He says, Eva muktva. Spoken thus. Having spoken thus. Uktva evam. Having spoken thus. Who? Where first? Who spoke? Sankhye. In the battlefield. Who spoke? Arjuna. Eva muktva Arjuna. Having spoken thus by Arjuna in Sankhye, in the battlefield, Ratopasta upavishate. Ratopasta means seat of the chariot. Ratopaste means seat of the chariot. Upavishate means sit. He basically sat. past tense, upavishati. He sat in the on the seat of the chariot. So basically Arjuna does not even have the strength to stand now. Because when the mind is weak, the body also weakens. So he sat on the seat of the chariot. And before sitting, what did he do? Visrijya sasharam chapam. Visrijya means having given up, having thrown away. He throws away. He gave up. What did he give up? Sasharam chapam. Chapam means bow. Sasharam means along, sharam, along with the arrows, the bow and the arrows. He just gave up. He just threw the bow and the arrows. And what does this symbolize? When giving up this bow and arrow basically indicates swadharma tyagaha. Swadharma tyaga means his dharma is to fight this war. He is basically giving up his dharma. Swadharma tyaga. He is giving up on that. And remember, Vyasa had given Sanjaya divine eyes not just to see what is happening, but also to be able to see what is happening in the minds of the people as well. So Sanjaya explains what is the state of mind of Arjuna here. He says, Shoka sambigna manasaha. Shoka sambigna manasaha. Shoka means grief stricken. Sambigna means stricken, fully. The mind which was grief stricken, which is also called conflict or moha. So having spoken thus in the battlefield, Arjuna, whose mind was grief stricken, sat on the seat of the chariot, having given up his bow along with the arrows. This is the end of this chapter. Chapter 1. So we will complete this with the end shloka. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Pratamodhyayah. Om Tat Satiti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamodhyayah. So every chapter ends with this expression. I don't know, I forgot probably for the 16th chapter. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. These are three words. Om is one word, Tat is one word, Sat is one word. And all these three words are actually names of Ishvara only. The three names of Ishvara. Om, Tat, Sat. And we are when sometimes a lot of people say Om Tat Sat, they will say. What does that mean? Actually, it means we are offering Ishvara our thanks. It is a way to offer our thanks to Ishvara. If you look at Om itself separately, there are several meanings for Om. The simplest meaning is Aviti iti Om. Avati means protector. Ishvara is the protector and he protects us from all the obstacles. So here why we are doing at the end is we say, oh Ishvara, thanks, because of you, because of your protection, we were able to complete this chapter. So Om. Then Tat. Tat again has got many meanings. Here it means the one who is beyond sense perception, beyond sense of paroksha, beyond some sense. Paroksha means sense perception. Krishnaha param indriyatita sarvendriya agochara is the meaning for tat. Sarvam agocharam, who is beyond this perception. The one that is beyond, one who is beyond the sense organs, who is supra-sensual. So there are many meanings, but this is one meaning. Tat means one who is beyond sense organs or sensory perception. Then the third word is sat. Sat means eternal. We use Sat Chit Ananda, the same Sat. Sat means eternal. And what is the definition of Sat? Trikale api tishtati iti Sat. The one which exists in the past, in the present and in the future. That means it is eternal. So everything in this world has got limited existence. Either it has existed in the past, or it is existing in the present, or it will exist in the future. Only Ishvara alone will exist, has existed, is existing. So Om Tat Sat, the eternal protector who is beyond our sense perception. Why do we say that? Somebody will say, show me Ishvara. We can, but they will not be ready to believe. But if they expect Ishvara in a particular form that they have created in their mind, it's going to be difficult for us to tell them. And even if they come in that form, they may not be willing to believe it. But in any case, Ishvara is beyond sense perception. When we say Ishvara here, we talk about Nirguna Brahman, who is beyond our sense perception and who is eternal, is the meaning of Om Tat Sat. In the 17th chapter, when we come to 17th chapter, we will be dealing about this Om Tat Sat in greater detail. So we are basically saying, Ishvara, by your grace, we have completed the first chapter. And what is the first chapter? What is the chapter about? Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama. The chapter, the title is, Yoga means title. What is the name of the title? Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Arjuna Vishada is the chapter's title. And what does that contain? Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Samvada means dialogue. Samvada means a dialogue between here a guru and a disciple. So Guru Shishya dialogue. Samvada, sam means good dialogue. Why do you say it's a good dialogue? It's a healthy dialogue because it is between Guru and Shishya. When two friends, when we normally talk, it is called as Vada. And when two people fight, and then it becomes the unhealthy, then it is called as Vidanda Vada. So Samvada means, there Vidanda Vada means argument. Samvada means it's not an argument, it's not a debate, it's not a test. It is just a healthy dialogue. So the Guru has got love for the disciple and the disciple has got respect for Guru. The Guru has nothing to gain from the Shishya. The Shishya is all indebted to the Guru. The Guru has got love and compassion. The Shishya has got Shraddha and Bhakti, faith and reverence. So this is the Samvada. This is the most healthy form of communication. And this Samvada is given a name. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. The word Upanishad means that knowledge which liberates a person. liberates a person from what? From sorrow. So Upanishad means liberating wisdom, liberating from sorrow in life. And who is teaching this to us? Srimad Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself. Bhagavan himself is teaching this in the form of Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, see, Bhagavan's teaching is not the original Upanishad. What Bhagavan is teaching is not the original Upanishad. It is only a Sara, it is only an essence from the Upanishad itself. That's why we say in the Gita Dhyana Slokas, we say Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandanaha Pato Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amrutam Mahatu. Sarvopanishad Sarvopanishado Gavo. So Bhagavad Gita is actually a Upanishad, the essence of Upanishad. And it is not just one Upanishad, Sarvopanishad. All the Upanishads, the essence of it is in Bhagavad Gita. Basically, the butter of Upanishad. And what is the topic? So there is this Samvada by Guru Shishya. What is the topic? They're basically two main themes of Gita, Bhagavad Gita. One is the Veda Purva Bhaga. It talks about some Veda Purva Bhaga also, and it also talks about Veda Anta Bhaga. The Veda Purva Bhaga is basically the Karma Kanda, basically all the religious part. And then the second part is all the Jnana Kanda, and which is the philosophical part. So basically Bhagavad Gita consists of both religion as well as philosophy. Some people might want to say we can have philosophy without religion, I can be spiritual without being religious. That is all not possible. At least if we want to get the moksha as defined by Advaita, then it is not possible. For that matter, any of our Sanatana Dharma way of life, philosophy without religion does not exist. Religion without philosophy is incomplete. Philosophy without religion is impossible. Religion is a way of life which makes us fit for philosophy. Philosophy is such an inquiry. It is an inquiry by which I need to be qualified, and the way I can qualify myself is through Karma Kanda. So the religion, the Karma Kanda will give me Jnana Yogyataha. It will make me qualified to receive this Jnanam, to receive this knowledge. And this religious part is called as Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastram. And the philosophical part is called as Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, knowledge about Brahman is called Brahma Vidya. Yoga Shastram means, yoga means sadhanas, the religious sadhanas. Yoga Shastram. Scriptures or teachings about the sadhanas. So Yoga Shastram plus Brahma Vidya is Bhagavad Gita. That's why we say Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamo Dhyaya. This is the first chapter. Adhyayam, Prathama Adhyayam, first chapter. So Yoga Shastram plus Brahma Vidya is Bhagavad Gita. Religion plus philosophy is Bhagavad Gita. Karma plus Jnana is equal to Bhagavad Gita. Veda Purva and Veda Anta is equal to Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita it contains the essence of the entire Vedas. So this is the end of the first chapter. I'll just quickly recap the first chapter so that we will go start with the second chapter next class. First chapter, first sloka, Dhritarashtra asks a question to Sanjaya, what did our people do? Then from sloka 2 to 20, basically Sanjaya describes the battlefield. No sloka is significant there between 2 to 20. There Duryodhana laments, Bhishma basically, and Drona is kind of unhappy with Duryodhana. Then Bhishma comes in. Then he indicates the start of the war. 21 to 23, what happens? Arjuna gives the command to Bhagavan. He says, place my chariot, Senayor Ubayor Madhye. So bring my chariot between the armies. And Krishna does it. So 24 to 25, Bhagavan fulfills the command. And he places between Bhishma and Drona, knowing Arjuna's weakness there. Arjuna's mind goes through changes. 26 to 28, Arjuna's first emotion comes out, which is basically the weakness that he has on the attachment with people. Kripaya paraya vishtaha vishidan idam abravit. That is the key word there. So this is the attachment, which is a natural problem among all of us, all beings, not just us, even all beings. Then in 29 to 31, Arjuna's Shoka comes into the fore. That is a second weakness, where we saw how Raga leads to either Shoka or it can lead to greed and possessiveness also. And it can also lead to Krodha also. So here Arjuna's mind goes through a quick change to, he basically sees what will happen if Bhishma and Drona dies. And that is enough for him to trigger that sorrow. And he starts getting into a state of third state, which is the delusion state. The delusion happens at the level of intellect. Attachment and sorrow affects the mind. The delusion affects the intellect. And remember, for doing anything properly, we need the support and help of both. But if the mind has got a problem, the intellect intellect alone will not be able to complete the job. Same thing when the intellect is willing to do, but the mind is not cooperating also, will not be able to do it. So this delusion makes Arjuna speak all kinds of things. He basically calls dharma as adharma, adharma as dharma, and he makes a series of wrong conclusions. And he debates with Bhagavan on various points. Bhagavan does not open his mouth, he is silent. And this only creates more issues in Arjuna. He keeps blabbering, he keeps making wrong judgments one after the other. And then finally in the sloka 47, Arjuna's state of mind is explained by Sanjaya in the last sloka, where he says, Shoka sambigna manasaha. Arjuna's mind is grief stricken. He does not have the strength to even talk further. He sits in the chariot throwing away his bow and arrow. Okay, that come to a close. Next class